Beat-em-ups have been around for a long time, and many have left their mark on the genre, such as Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Double Dragon and more. Some are better than others, but Wulverblade, developed by Fully Illustrated and Darkwind Media, is fun entertainment for what it is. Wulverblade doesn't do anything new mechanically, but its distinct setting separates itself from its contemporaries. The year is 120 AD. The Romans control southern Britain and are heading north to conquer the whole island, as Caradoc, along with Brennus and Guinevere, they take arms to repel the invaders, in addition to any tribes aligned with them. Like other beat-em-ups, you'll be defeating groups of enemies before facing a boss at the end of each level. All three characters can perform light attacks, while heavy attacks require weapons you'll find in the environment. Not only can weapons be picked up, including the opposition's, you can also grapple them for a pounding, or throw them to control space. Attacking and executing Romans, in addition to finding pouches, increases your avatar's rage meter, and once activated, their attacks become faster, they're invincible and recover health for a short time. If that wasn't enough, they can call in their wolves for backup, killing multiple Romans quickly and can even damage bosses, but they are only available once per level. By the way, you only have 3 lives before restarting from a checkpoint, unless you're on arcade mode where there are none and only have 3 continues. Your rage meter builds slowly during combat, meaning this along with your wolves are best used when the situation calls for them. No matter which character you control, Caradoc, Brennus and Guinevere have an area effect move, but at the expense of some health, and can also dash, evade and block incoming attacks. If you're daring, parrying blows for a counter attack is possible, although the timing window varies and you can't parry every move from the enemy. From my experience, mobility is imperative, especially against bosses as they tend to call in reinforcements. I'm indifferent with these encounters. On the one hand, they're satisfying when you position yourself and know when to strike, yet having to deal with their subordinates is an artificial way for creating challenge. Nonetheless, the controls are simple, accessible and responsive, crucial for fun combat, which it is, and that's not taken into account of its replayability, including its arena mode as you fight endless waves of Romans. There's a notable difference with each character, Caradoc being an all-rounder, Brennus hits hard but is slow, and Guinevere is fast yet fragile. While light attacks are your primary form for dealing damage, it didn't make the combat a brain-dead experience. You do have to be careful because they can deal as much harm as your avatar, but with this in mind and the additional mechanics at your disposal, combat is both strategic and gratifying. Wulverblade has local co-op and there are leaderboards to show where you rank on each level, though it's disappointing you can't play online with friends. Some of you already know from previous videos I'm not into multiplayer, however this seems a missed opportunity to experience the game in a connected way. Also, I find it bizarre you can't change characters between levels, instead you have to back out then re-enter the campaign. While not game breaking by any means, the devs could have easily avoided this oversight. Even though Wulverblade displays itself in a cartoonish style, the levels, animations, sound effects and music are impressive, plus I didn't experience frame rate drops throughout my playthrough. It's also cool each character has unique dialogue and cutscenes, however I find the voice acting inconsistent, either delivering their lines without issue or sound too composed when their subtitles say otherwise. The story is simple, which is fine in terms of the game's scope, but I wish the character development wasn't so uneven. Caradoc is the main protagonist throughout its 8 chapters, since he's the one spearheading the rebellion, and he has a wife and 2 sons, giving him personal stakes, whereas Brennus and Guinevere are just there in the background, despite their presence in the story. Anyway, Wulverblade also has a passion for British history. As you explore each stage, there are secrets and notes providing historical facts, such as weapons, armour and even tactics the Romans used, not to mention there are videos showing real life locations featured in the game. Of course, the story is framed from the protagonist's perspective, and it does go down the supernatural route for its climax, but I can let those slide due to what the developers were working with as far as historical evidence is concerned. In other words, the devs would have taken liberties for gameplay and story purposes. Overall, Wulverblade is a game I recommend, despite its shortcomings. Yes, the character development is uneven, and it doesn't have online co-op to name a few, but its rare beat-em-up is set in a historical context. Add to the fact the combat is satisfying, it kept me coming back for more, notwithstanding its simple controls. Beat-em-ups aren't popular these days, but don't let Wulverblade pass you by.
Wulverblade.